Hello and welcome to this in-depth training session on the Odoo Contacts application. I am Mishra. This is not just a contact book. It is the central nervous system of your entire business inside Odoo. Every entity you deal with, your customers, your vendors, your suppliers, your resellers, even your company representatives are all recorded here. And in Odoo 18, this module has been refined into a complete business partner register that integrates with sales, purchase, accounting, CRM, projects, support and more. By the end of this session, you will not just know how to add a contact, you will master how to leverage every single field, every smart button, and every internal note to build a powerful 360-degree profile of your business partners. So let's begin. 1. Establishing the contact identity. We always start with the basics, who the contact is and how they connect to your business. Contact type, company versus individual. When creating a contact, Odoo first asks you to choose between two key options. Company, this is used for any legal entity, such as organizations, vendors, distributors, or corporate customers. This record in fact acts as the parent entity for all the employees or representatives of that organization. Individual, this is for business to consumer customers, freelancers, or specific representatives of a company. For example, an individual could be a purchasing officer from Infosys or a sales executive from Amazon. The critical tip here is this. Always link the individual to their parent company. This way, all their invoices, quotations, and communications are visible at the company level too. Additional details. Next, we look at several fields that further define the contact. Job position. The job position field is primarily used when you are creating an individual contact. It describes the person's professional role in their organization. Examples include purchase manager, sales director, HR executive, or IT consultant. Why it matters? If you are negotiating a contract, knowing whether someone is a manager or a director helps you understand their decision-making authority. It also helps in segmenting contacts. For instance, you can pull a report of all purchase managers across vendors when you want to launch a supplier campaign. Therefore, always enter this field for individuals, especially if they represent a company. Title. The title field is a polite prefix used in formal communication. Options typically include Mr., Miss, Mrs., Doctor, Prof. For example, if you are addressing Dr. Mira Sharma, Odoo ensures that all your emails and letters automatically respect her title. Why it matters? It creates professionalism in your business correspondence, which is especially useful in formal industries like healthcare, education, or government. A quick tip, don't leave this blank when communicating with clients where formality is important. Name. Mandatory. The name field is compulsory. For companies, you must enter the official registered name such as Infosys Limited. For individuals, enter the first and last name such as Ravi Kumar. This is the primary identifier for the contact. It appears in all modules: sales orders, invoices, purchase orders, and even reports. Therefore, use consistent naming conventions. Avoid nicknames or abbreviations unless officially recognized. Address. Odoo allows you to enter a structured address, which is logically broken down into Street 1, Street 2, which is optional perhaps for an apartment or office block, city, state, country, and postal code. Correct addresses are essential for shipping, logistics, and invoicing. Furthermore, taxation depends heavily on the registered address. For example, GST calculations in India vary from state to state. Odoo can also use this data for geolocation mapping, helping your sales team plan visits. Tax ID. The tax ID field is localized, meaning its name and format depend on your country. Examples include India, GSTIN, Europe, VAT number, or the United States, EIN, Employer Identification Number. Tax IDs are mandatory for compliance and invoicing. Without it, you may not be able to generate valid tax invoices or claim input credits. For example, an Indian vendor must have a GSTIN for you to legally deduct input GST on their invoice. Always verify the number's accuracy before entering. Many countries fortunately provide online validation portals. Odoo provides multiple fields to capture different communication channels. Phone for the company's landline or official desk number. Mobile for personal or direct mobile contact. Email for primary communication, including invoices and notifications. Website to add company's website. Having multiple channels ensures you can reach your contact even if one fails. For example, if the landline is always busy, the mobile field becomes crucial. Email addresses are also key for mass marketing campaigns. Always double check spelling, especially for emails and websites, as even a small typo makes them useless. Tags. Tags are like labels or categories you can assign to a contact. Examples include VIP customer, preferred vendor, marketing lead 2025, or delayed payments. Tags allow you to filter, group and report contacts easily. For example, you can run a marketing campaign only for Expo 2025 leads or prioritize support tickets for VIP customers. Remember to standardize your tag list to avoid duplicates, such as VIP versus v.i.p, and use tags for both operational tracking like pending KYC and strategic purposes like high potential. Managing multiple addresses. Now let's move to an important part of the context module, managing multiple addresses and locations for a single business partner. In real life, companies often operate from more than one place. They may have a corporate office, a billing office, warehouses, retail stores, or even international branches. Odoo handles this complexity through the Contacts and Addresses subtab. This feature allows you to keep all these addresses neatly organized under one master record. No duplicates, no confusion. Address types. When you add a new address, Odoo asks you to define its type. Each type has a specific business purpose. 1. Invoice address. This is the billing address. All financial documents like invoices, credit notes and statements are sent here. For example, a multinational company may have its billing handled at its headquarters in Mumbai even though the goods are delivered elsewhere. Using the right invoice address ensures that your finance team sends invoices to the correct place, avoiding delays in payment. 2. Delivery address. This is the shipping destination where goods or products should be delivered. For instance, a customer places an order, but instead of their head office, they want the goods delivered to a warehouse in Pune. If you mistakenly use the billing address as the delivery address, your shipment may go to the wrong place, costing time and money. 3. Follow-up address. This is used specifically for payment reminders and dunning letters. For example, a company's finance department may be located in Delhi, while its operations office is in Bengaluru. Overdue payment reminders should go directly to the finance department. It ensures that reminders reach the right team and are not lost in general communication. 4. Contact or other address. This is a flexible type used for anything that doesn't fit into the above categories. Examples include a branch office, a service center, a temporary event location, or even a third-party logistics provider. It gives you flexibility to capture any other relevant location tied to the company. Additional details for each address. Each new address you create is like a mini contact card. It can hold a unique contact name, for example, Warehouse Manager Pune, a direct phone number or mobile number, a dedicated email address, and internal notes for your team's reference. For example, internal notes could be use this delivery address only for bulk orders above 500 units. This way, every team member has the exact instructions needed. Saving options. When you add a new address, Odoo gives you two saving options, save and close. This finalizes the address and returns you to the main contact form. Save and new. This saves the current address and immediately opens a new blank form to add another location. For example, if a customer has 5 warehouses across India, you can quickly add all 5 by using save and new repeatedly. Why centralization matters? Keeping multiple addresses under one master record prevents duplication. Instead of creating 5 different records for one customer, you keep one clean record with multiple addresses. This makes reports accurate, accounting simple, and logistics smooth. For instance, when your sales team checks the customer record, they can immediately see where to send invoices, where to ship goods, who to remind for payments, and which branch to contact for support, all without jumping between multiple records. Sales details, customer-specific fields. When the contact is a customer, Odoo lets you define rules for how your company deals with them commercially. Each field here controls some part of the sales order, delivery, payment cycle. Salesperson. You can assign an Odoo user, typically a sales executive or account manager, as the owner of this customer account. The benefits are clear. It tracks the performance of each salesperson and ensures the right person is notified of all activities, quotations and invoices. For example, if you assign Rajesh as the salesperson for ABC Traders, all opportunities, sales orders and invoices will show under Rajesh's dashboard. Payment terms. This defines when the customer has to pay you. Options can be immediate payment, due as soon as the invoice is created, 15 days, 30 days, 45 days, due after the set number of days, end of month, or even custom terms. For example, 50% advance plus 50% on delivery. For B2C retail, immediate payment is common. For B2B, 30 days is standard. Payment method. This specifies how the customer will pay you. This can be configured in Odoo through accounting, configuration, online payments, payment methods. Examples include bank transfer, NEFT, RTGS, SWIFT, cash, UPI or credit card via payment gateway, PayPal or Stripe for international customers. The tip here is always select the default method your customer prefers so invoices autofill with the correct payment option. Price list. This controls the pricing strategy for this customer. A price list can define discounts by quantity. For example, buy 100 units, 10% off. Promotional prices valid for a date range. Or regional pricing. The same product may have different prices for India versus Europe. For example, assign a wholesale price list to distributors and a retail price list to walk-in customers. Delivery method. This determines how products are shipped. Options depend on your installed delivery carriers. Examples include free delivery, no charge, chargeable delivery, fixed cost or by weight or volume, or specific carriers like DHL, FedEx or DTDC. Purchase details. Vendor-specific fields. If the contact is a vendor, the purchase tab defines how your business will buy from them. Buyer or purchase representative. This assigns the Odoo user who manages procurement from this vendor. For example, Neha is the purchase officer for XYZ suppliers. All purchase orders raised to XYZ suppliers will be tracked under her. Vendor payment terms and method. Vendor payment terms defines when you must pay them. Similar options as customers. Immediate 15 days, 30 days, end of month. For instance, a vendor may require payment of 50% advance and 50% within 7 days of delivery. Vendor payment method. How you will pay them? Bank transfer, check, cash, UPI, NEFT, RTGS or others. This ensures your accounts payable team doesn't need to ask each time. Receipt reminder. This is a proactive tool to avoid delays. You can configure Odoo to remind vendor a certain number of days before the expected receipt date. It automatically sends a confirmation email to the vendor X days before the expected receipt date, asking him to confirm the exact delivery date. For example, if you set 3 days before and delivery is due on the 10th, Odoo reminds vendor on the 7th to confirm the exact delivery date. Vendor or supplier currency. This defines the currency in which the vendor invoices you. For example, a local vendor uses INR while a foreign vendor uses USD. If currency is set here, this currency will be used instead of default one for purchases from the current vendor. Important, always verify the vendor currency before finalizing purchase orders. 3. Point of sale, POS. This fields connect the contact to POS workflows. POS barcode. This is useful in retail where speed matters. You can assign a unique barcode to a customer or vendor. The benefit is that at the POS counter, you can scan the barcode to instantly bring up that contact's profile. This is useful for loyalty customers or recurring vendors. For example, assign loyalty barcode cards to premium customers. Scanning identifies them immediately at checkout. Fiscal position. This is one of the most important accounting fields. It determines which tax rules apply for transactions with this partner. Example use cases. Domestic customer, same state in India, apply CGST plus SGST. Interstate customer, IGST. Export customer, zero rated taxes. EU intra-community supply, VAT exempt. With these fields set up correctly, you ensure sales orders are priced and taxed correctly, purchase orders reflect correct vendor terms, POS counters run smoothly, and finance and compliance stay accurate. Financial and accounting configuration in Odoo 18 contacts. This section is all about money and compliance. When you set up a contact in Odoo, the financial configuration decides how invoices are generated, how payments are tracked, how overdue reminders are sent, and which accounts are used in your ledger. Configuring this section carefully ensures that your sales, purchases, and accounting teams can work smoothly without conflicts or manual corrections. Let's break it down field by field. Bank accounts of the contact. Every serious business partner, whether a customer or a vendor, needs at least one bank account on record. Bank account number. Enter the exact account number or IBAN, International Bank Account Number. For global vendors or customers, IBAN ensures cross-border payments without errors. Bank name. Select the bank from the list or create a new one. Examples: ICICI Bank, HDFC or Citibank. Account holder name. The legal name under which the bank account is registered. This is important for reconciliation and avoiding fraud. Currency. Select the currency in which this account operates. For example, a vendor may invoice you in USD while your company's base currency is INR. Odoo handles the conversion automatically when you enter transactions. The key takeaway is: add all active accounts a vendor uses, especially if they accept payments in multiple currencies. This avoids delays when settling international invoices. Invoice management. This section controls how invoices are created, delivered, and handled for compliance. Customer invoice method defines how invoices will be sent to this customer. Options include email, fast digital delivery, print and post for customers who still require paper invoices, or by post, or customer can logs into Odoo portal and downloads the invoice. For example, a government client may still require hard copy invoices with the stamp, while startups may prefer PDF by email. Auto post bills. This is used for vendor bills. When enabled, Odoo automatically posts the bill into the accounting system once validated. This saves manual posting effort and reduces mistakes. For example, for monthly rent or recurring subscriptions, auto posting saves a lot of time. Legal Entity Identifier (LEI), a unique 20-character global identifier for businesses involved in financial transactions. It is required by banks and regulators for cross-border payments. For example, an Indian exporter selling to Europe may need to provide an LEI for compliance. A good practice is always confirm customer preference for the invoice method during onboarding. For vendors, enable auto post only if they are trusted and verified suppliers. Invoice follow-ups. This feature is about collections and dunning, reminding customers to pay overdue invoices. Dunning levels, you can set multiple stages. Level 1, friendly reminder. Your payment is due in 3 days. Level 2, firm reminder. Payment overdue, please settle immediately. Or level 3, final warning. Legal action will follow if payment is not made. Communication methods, send follow-ups through email, default and professional, SMS, faster and harder to ignore, print and post required in certain industries. Attachments, Odoo allows attaching the invoice copy directly inside the reminder. This saves the customer from searching emails. Templates, use pre-configured email or SMS templates to save time. For example, dear customer, your invoice INV 2025/005 is overdue by X days. Kindly pay immediately to avoid penalties. A vital tip is always keep reminders polite at first, escalate gradually. Aggressive reminders at the start can harm customer relationships. Accounting entries, receivable and payable accounts. Finally, we come to the heart of accounting integration. Normally, your company has default accounts for all receivables, money customers owe you, and payables, money you owe to vendors. But in some cases, you need to override these defaults for specific contacts. Receivable account, used when this customer owes you money. For example, high-risk customers may need a special doubtful debts receivable account instead of the general one. Payable account, used when you owe money to a vendor. For example, a vendor you pay in foreign currency may have a dedicated payable account to simplify reconciliation. The rule of thumb is use default accounts unless your accountant specifies otherwise. Custom receivable and payable accounts should only be set up for special cases, audits, or compliance needs. Now let's talk about the internal notes and operational warnings in the Odoo contact form. This section plays a very important role in capturing confidential remarks, reminders, or system alerts that guide your business operations. Internal notes are meant only for your team's internal use. They are not visible to customers or vendors. Think of them as a scratch pad for important information that should stay private within your organization. Some practical examples include: customer prefers weekend calls only, avoid weekday mornings. Vendor offers an additional 5% discount on orders above 1 lakh rupees. Handle communication with this customer through email only, they don't prefer phone calls. Internal notes help ensure that your team always remembers the little details which can make a big difference in customer satisfaction and vendor management. Operational warnings. The second part of this section is operational warnings. By default, Odoo does not show warnings. To use them, you first need to activate the warning feature in settings. Once enabled, you can configure different types of warnings for each contact. There are 3 possible levels. No message. This is the default state, meaning there is no alert linked to this contact. Warning message. Here the system will display a pop-up warning when you try to perform an action involving this contact, but you can still continue the process. For example, if a customer has a poor payment history, you might set a warning saying, please check the customer's credit limit before confirming the sale order. Blocking message, this is the strictest level. In this case, the system completely blocks the action. You cannot proceed until the issue is resolved. For example, if a vendor has been blacklisted, you can configure a blocking message saying, vendor blacklisted, purchase orders are not allowed. These warnings can be applied across multiple areas in Odoo, such as sales orders, purchase orders, invoices, and inventory operations, including inward shipments, outward shipments, and internal transfers. This ensures that important business rules are enforced consistently across all operations. A quick recap: use internal notes for private information that guides your team in handling contacts. Use warnings to alert or block users when dealing with high-risk or special case partners. Always configure them thoughtfully so they support smooth operations instead of causing unnecessary interruptions. Now let's move on to one of the most useful parts of the contact form in Odoo: smart buttons and the chatter. Smart buttons are like mini dashboards that appear right on the contact form. They give you quick one-click access to all the related business documents linked with that contact. Instead of searching through different apps or menus, smart buttons bring the information to you in one place. Let's break this down. Financial smart buttons. Invoices. This button shows all the invoices issued to the customer or received from the vendor. For example, if you are checking a client's profile, one click will list all pending and paid invoices. This helps your finance team monitor dues and cash flow without leaving the contact form. Bills. If the contact is a vendor or supplier, this shows all the purchase bills linked to them. Clicking here gives you a full history of what you've purchased and how much you owe. This helps in making quick financial decisions, such as whether to approve a new order for a customer with overdue payments. Partner ledger. This is like a mini accounting book for the contact. It shows their debits, credits, outstanding balances, and payment history. This helps in making quick financial decisions, such as whether to approve a new order for a customer with overdue payments. Sales and CRM Smart Buttons. Quotations. This displays all quotations or estimates you've prepared for this contact. For example, if a customer calls asking about a quotation, you don't need to go to the sales module. One click here shows everything. Sales orders. This lists all confirmed sales orders linked with the contact. It helps sales managers quickly track order status, delivery, or invoicing. Opportunities. If CRM is active, this shows all sales opportunities related to the contact. For instance, if the contact is still a lead, you can instantly see the pipeline stage they are in. Purchases. The Purchases Smart button helps you view all purchase-related documents connected to a vendor, including requests for quotations and purchase orders. You can see every RFQ or order raised for that particular vendor. This gives you a complete history of purchases at one glance. It helps avoid confusion or duplication since everything is accessible from one screen. Example, if you want to check how many orders you've placed with a vendor in the last month, you can click the Purchases button. No need to switch to the Purchase module. Subscriptions. The Subscription Smart button is used when you sell subscription-based products or services. It shows all the subscriptions linked to this customer. You can see details such as the start date, renewal date, current status, active, expired or cancelled, and more. It helps you monitor ongoing subscriptions and take action, for example, renewing or cancelling a plan. Example, if a customer subscribes to your software service, you can view the subscription and its renewal status directly from the contact form. Documents. The Document Smart button allows you to store and manage all important files related to the contact within Odoo itself. You can upload files like GST certificates, PAN cards, agreements, invoices, or any other supporting documents. All uploaded documents are securely stored and can be accessed anytime. You don't have to search through your email inboxes or shared drives to find them. Everything stays attached to the contact record. Example, if you need to check a GST certificate, just click Documents under their contact and open the file instantly. Meetings. The Meeting Smart button displays all scheduled meetings or appointments related to the contact. You can view upcoming or past meetings at a glance. You can make changes, reschedule, or create a new meeting from the same view. It helps you stay organized and ensures you never miss an interaction with the contact. For example, if you have a sales follow-up meeting with a client, you can open it directly from this button and update the meeting details instantly. Services Smart Buttons. Project Tasks. Shows all tasks assigned to or related to this customer or vendor. For example, for a client project, clicking here will display all tasks your team is working on. Support Tickets. If you're using Help Desk or Customer Support, this button lists all support tickets raised by the contact. This helps customer service teams resolve issues faster since the history is right in front of them. Why smart buttons matter? They act like shortcuts to critical data. Instead of wasting time switching apps, you can get a 360-degree view of your contacts' financials, sales, and services in seconds. The Chatter, your collaboration hub. Now let's talk about the Chatter, a powerful collaboration tool built into every contact form in Odoo. The Chatter is the communication panel at the bottom of the contact form. This is like the heartbeat of collaboration in Odoo, where all communication, notes, documents, and updates come together. Let's look at its main features in detail. 1. Send message. This option allows you to send an email directly from the contact form. You can write a fresh message or pick from predefined templates like quotation emails or payment reminders. Messages can be scheduled for later delivery, for example, to send a follow-up tomorrow morning instead of right now. All messages sent appear in the Chatter thread, and any replies from the customer are automatically pulled back here. For example, if you email a client about a quotation, their reply will be logged in the same place so you have a continuous conversation history. 2. Log note. Notes are for internal communication only. Customers or vendors do not see them. You can record observations, reminders, or internal discussions here. For example, @Ravi, please verify this customer's PAN number before confirming the sale order. The mentioned person receives a notification, keeping everyone aligned without sending unnecessary external emails. 3. WhatsApp integration. If your Odoo has WhatsApp integration, you can send approved WhatsApp template messages directly from the chatter. For example, sending a message like, "Hello, your invoice is ready for download. Please find the link below." Since WhatsApp templates need approval, this ensures professional and compliant communication. 4. Attachments. This feature allows you to upload and store important documents right with the contact. You can attach contracts, agreements, ID proofs, or scanned invoices. Files stay linked to the contact record, so your team never has to search through email inboxes or shared drives. For example, a supplier's GST certificate or a customer's signed purchase agreement can be kept safely here. 5. Followers. Followers are team members who are subscribed to updates about this contact. When you add someone as a follower, they automatically receive notifications about changes, messages, or activities. This ensures that all the relevant people stay in the loop. For example, adding the finance manager as a follower on a key customer ensures that they get alerts whenever an invoice is created or updated. A quick recap of the chatter. Use send message for external communication. Use log note for private internal remarks. Use WhatsApp for quick approved communication. Use attachments for storing supporting documents. And use followers for keeping the right people notified. The chatter makes sure nothing slips through the cracks. Calendar. Activities built-in task management. Now let's explore activities which are closely connected to the chatter. Activities act like a to-do system built into every record in Odoo. Here's how they work. 1. Schedule activities. You can schedule tasks such as calls, meetings, email, or general to-dos. For example, if you just had a meeting with a client, you can immediately schedule a follow-up call for next week. You can choose the type of activity, assign it to yourself or a teammate, and set the deadline. 2. Mark as done. When you complete an activity, you can mark it as done. Odoo gives you a text box to write feedback or closing notes. For example, spoke with the client, they will confirm the order by Monday. These notes become part of the permanent record, creating a reliable audit trail. 3. Done and schedule next. This option is designed for continuous follow-up loops. Instead of just finishing the activity, you immediately schedule the next step. For example, after marking a call as done, you can instantly schedule a reminder to send a quotation tomorrow. This keeps the workflow uninterrupted and ensures no opportunity is missed. Together, the chatter and activities provide a complete communication and action history. They ensure that all interactions, whether internal or external, are captured in one place with full transparency for your team. Now that we've understood all the fields and features, let's talk about the best practices. These are the golden rules to keep your Odoo contacts clean, accurate, and useful for the long run. I'll go through them one by one with detailed explanations and examples. 1. Avoid duplication. Always check before creating a new contact. Use the search bar and try multiple spellings. For example, Infosys might already exist in the system, but if you create another record as Infosys Ltd, you'll now have two separate entries, leading to confusion in sale orders and invoices. Duplicates also damage reports, because you'll have scattered information across multiple records. The solution is this: dedicate a team member or set rules to regularly scan and merge duplicate records using the Odoo Merge Contacts feature. 2. Maintain proper hierarchy. In Odoo, companies are parents and individuals are children. If you add an employee of a company, always link them to the parent company. For example, when you add Ravi Kumar, sales manager at Tata Steel, make sure he is linked to Tata Steel's company record. This way, invoices, meetings, and opportunities are grouped correctly under the company. The key is never leave individuals floating without a parent if they belong to a company. This keeps reports, communication, and accounting perfectly structured. 3. Keep data fresh and updated. Contacts change jobs, phone numbers, or email IDs all the time. Outdated information creates serious problems. Your invoices bounce back, your delivery partner cannot reach the customer, or worse, you keep calling a number that no longer belongs to the contact. The advice here is to assign a periodic review activity for key contacts, say every 6 or 12 months. Train your sales and support teams to update the record immediately whenever they get new information from a client. We've covered the complete life cycle of a business partner in Odoo, from the basic identity and multiple addresses to the financial terms, operational warnings, and the power of the smart buttons and chatter. Mastering this model means you're not just managing a list, but you're managing the relationships and data integrity that power your entire Odoo system. This level of detail is what transforms Odoo from a simple ERP into a true 360-degree business management platform. This concludes a training session on the Odoo Contacts application. Thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions about specific fields, or would you like to see a live demonstration of creating a contact with multiple addresses?